going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News. Oh, what's that, Jan, you ask me? Well, friend, it's the daily series here on the channel where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea, giving you my opinion on it. Blah, blah, blah. Matty Law of the Telegraph has wrote about Chelsea's interest in Bellingham. Jude Bellingham, that's right, the player that everyone wants, the world-class teenager that plays for Dortmund. Apparently he's going to cost 130 million, big ones. I'm still sick and there's some construction work going on outside, so I apologise for both, and would request you drop a like on the video to make me feel better. Thank you, dear sweet viewers and subscribers, and to the people who are yet to subscribe, you are welcome to do so, and should you choose to do so, hit that sweet, sweet bell, baby. Ooh, he's back. Alright then, let's get into it. So, this here on the international break of boredom, Chelsea stories are still rife all over the gaff. That is, of course, because Chelsea have a new manager in Graham Potter. That is, of course, because Chelsea have new ownership in Boehly and Clearlake. And that is, of course, because Chelsea have new players as well, and are looking at new players. Chelsea have an aging midfield, well, the senior players like N'Golo Kante and Jorginho, and of course, Chelsea are looking at the future, buying all these super youngsters. But long have we been linked to a world-class, top-profile midfielder, and Todd Boehly, the Chelsea owner, wants Jude Bellingham. So like I said, we will be referencing an article from Matt Law. I'll put the article down in the description for your consideration, but we're going to go through it together and react accordingly, so let's jump into it. Chelsea ready to enter £130 million race for Jude Bellingham. Borussia Dortmund midfielder has been strongly linked with a move to Liverpool, and Real Madrid are also interested. Before we start, it's important to note how highly rated Jude is. He's still only 19, he's been playing first team football since he was, 15? He's a box-to-box midfielder, a dying breed, kind of. He's tall, he's elegant, he can attack, he can defend. He's really built for purpose and kind of rare box-to-box midfielder. Chelsea are desperately trying to play catch-up in the race to try and sign England star Jude Bellingham next summer. Telegraph Sport understand that the Todd Boehly and Clearlake Capital ownership have already attempted to make inroads into the Bellingham camp, despite being told that Real Madrid and Liverpool are ahead of them. Co-controlling owner and interim sporting director, Boehly still believes that Chelsea have enough time to make a serious play for Bellingham, and has not been put off by any warnings that Real Madrid and Liverpool have been working on a potential deal for months. Yeah, of course, that is a story we have already reacted to here on the channel, how Real Madrid and Liverpool have made attempts to sign him, starting to pour like honey potion into his ear. Come see us, mate. I did personally think like he probably would suit a move to Anfield, as much as it turns my stomach, but I would love him at Stamford Bridge. Hashtag Bellingham to the bridge. Trend it, people. Bellingham is quickly becoming the hottest young property in world football, with Borussia Dortmund likely to have to cash in on him as a £130 million rated midfielder at the end of the season. And pause, I don't know what that means. Dortmund makes so many P's. Granted, they didn't maximise their potential income from Erling Haaland had they sold him to Chelsea the year before, and Chelsea got him instead of Romelu Lukaku. They would have made a lot more. Now, of course, City paid a lot for Haaland, but they paid a lot on agent fees and stuff. Dortmund could have made more money had they not sold him for his release clause. But think about the amount of money they purchased Haaland for and then sold him. Think about, they got Sancho from the Man City Academy, sold him for £75 million to Manchester United. They sold us Pulisic for like 50 million. Now they're going to sell this youngster for probably around 100 million. Now, of course, a story we've already reacted to here is it could be a discount should a suitable upfront cash financial offer be presented to Dortmund. And again, I don't know how, but Chelsea might be an appropriate candidate to do that. I don't know where we're getting this money from, but YOLO! A race has already started between clubs to try and get into pole position for Bellingham, with Chelsea under the impression that Real Madrid and Liverpool are leading the way. But that has not deterred Chelsea's new owners from trying to gatecrash the race for Bellingham and attempting to muscle their way alongside Madrid and Liverpool at the front of the queue. Still currently without a permanent sporting director, However, Boehly is believed to have taken it onto his own shoulders to make inquiries over Bellingham and foster what he hopes could be key relationships. Boehly likes making those key relationships. The first thing he did as Chelsea head honcho was set up loads of meetings, dinners, throwing his weight around financially, but also socially, trying to get to know everyone and be real, like, I'm here, this is what I want to do, let's do business, let's make each other happy. It's probably pretty smart. Madrid and Liverpool have already spent months doing that though, while there is also remains a fear that Manchester City will seriously turn their attention towards Bellingham, given his excellent performances for Dortmund and England. Pause, I want to say as well, I think, yes, it's Man City, the greatest team in the land, etc. Yeah, but they've got so many good midfielders with like your Bernardos and your De Bruynes and your Rodris and, you know, and even like, I said like before, your Calvin Phillips, who was bought for 50 million, by the way, he's waiting to get into that midfield as well. I just feel like Bellingham could go to another team and just be a starting superstar like that. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea's new owners have spent almost 300 million during their first transfer window since taking over the club from Roman Abramovich, but Boehly and co are already preparing to splash more cash in the future, with midfield one of the priority positions. Preliminary talks have been held over trying to extend N'Golo Kante's contract, which expires at the end of the season, while the club are also debating whether or not to offer Jorginho, who is in the same situation, a new deal. But regardless of the futures of Kante and Jorginho, Chelsea are planning to try and sign at least one young, top-class midfielder next summer, with Declan Rice also still on the club's radar. Cool, Declan Rice is of course very, very good, a conventional CDM that can screen the back four but also take the ball forward, but you have to sort of think they are different in profiles. Bellingham is a little bit more of a roamer, Declan Rice is a little bit more of a sitter. And of course, you sort of have to think Bellingham would probably be more offensive. He does actually miss a lot of chances, Bellingham. He's still very raw. Of course, he's very young. He's got to be, 4 years younger than Declan Rice. Mate, they're both young. For that kind of profile of player, they're both very young. But I was hearing some analysis from a Bundesliga analysis on Jude Bellingham, and although he's very exciting and talented in his capacity for playing in this box, and indeed the middle box, he does waste opportunities and chances, but that's okay. He's very young. The truth is, he's brilliant still. And when it comes to Jorginho and Kante, we could see a future where we extend both of them, probably just as easily as seeing a future where we release both of them. I think probably the club will be more inclined to extend N'Golo Kante just because of how world-class and unique he is. Jorginho is a great player as well, but with Kante, just look at what he's won and how important he's been, across all competitions and internationally. The thing is with Kante is he's demanding a longer contract, and he's Chelsea's highest, if not top two highest earners, and Chelsea are looking at his injury record. I think the new ownership is looking at his injury record probably more clinically and algorithmically, data-led, remember, and thinking this is not financially viable, though we'd love to keep you. Can we make this work? And I've said before in previous videos, personally, I think PSG would just swing in for Kante and give him what he wants and pay him what he wants. Do you know what I mean? Remember, he's a Parisian as well. He might be tempted by that. He's won the Premier League twice with different teams. He's won the Champions League, the Europa League, the World Cup. Why not go and win a bunch of Ligue 1s before you retire? You'll still be selected for France. From his perspective, it kind of makes total sense. We'll see what happens with those two guys anyway. Chelsea's owners were warned off making a bid for Rice by West Ham in the summer transfer window, but may well test the resolve of their London rivals next summer. Other than trying to jump up the queue of clubs chasing Bellingham and maintaining an interest in Rice, Chelsea are watching RB Leipzig striker Christopher Nkunku this season and will assess whether or not the club needs to sign a new goalkeeper. Edouard Mendy is yet to sign a new contract, having turned down at least one offer, and his downturn in form ahead of Graham Potter's arrival as head coach raised question marks over whether or not Chelsea should be considering their options. Kepa Arrizabalaga was made available last summer but could not secure a move, and Mendy's questionable footwork and distribution could become an even greater issue under the style of Potter, who will take charge of his first Chelsea game in the Premier League against Crystal Palace this Saturday. While yes, the goalkeeping situation is an intriguing one that I've spoken about at length, I do genuinely still think there's a chance Kepa Arrizabalaga becomes Chelsea's first choice goalkeeper, first team goalkeeper. We'll see what happens with that. Edouard Mendy's future is in a precarious position, though recognised as an excellent goalkeeper. good at shot stopping, good at commanding the area and claiming crosses, footwork perhaps not immense, and that's important in a build-up play from the back style team that of course Graham Potter is huge on. Kepa, I think, will be better at that. We'll see what happens. Chelsea may still buy another goalkeeper. Of course, with the strikers and attackers, we've spoken about Christopher Nkunku recently as well. Chelsea watching him closely this season, probably doing more data analysis and deciding whether it's appropriate to make an approach for him in the summer. Of course, there's loads of other things to consider in the meantime, like how much time is youngster Armando Broja given up front for Chelsea, and how well does he perform? You know, does Aubameyang explode, score a bunch of goals, and look like he will absolutely hold down the starting spot next season? You've got to be open to that. Like, why not? Granted, Graham Potter's Brighton underachieved in terms of converting chances, but it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. I'm not going to do it. So what's going to happen? I'm not entirely sure, but I want to put it out to you guys. Of course, the big story, because he performed so well for England, is Jude Bellingham. He looks like an absolute superstar. Like, it's a marquee signing. Any team in the world would want him. Real Madrid want him. Like I said, I think in a recent video, they sign Camavinga, Tchouameni, and Bellingham to replace Modric, Kroos, and Casemiro. It's not bad, is it? But I would love him at Stamford Bridge, personally. We'll have to see what happens. To be honest, Declan Rice would also be an excellent signing. He's got the capacity to be very, very good. Of course, also, he's got a good, strong character, good team spirit, good communication. All of that is important when playing for a top team. So either or would be lovely. We'll have to see what happens. Maybe a different midfielder. We'll have to see. So much hangs in the balance. Chelsea are still, of course, looking for a new sporting director. There's stories circulating around a new candidate. I will speak about that in a different video soon. So keep it locked and make sure when you subscribe to this channel, Football Therapy, you turn on that sweet, sweet bell. I'm probably going to wrap up here, but it's been a fun video. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to reading your comments, thoughts, feelings, and opinions down in that section down there. Thank you for dropping a like again. Please do if you're yet to do so. And I'm looking forward to seeing you, that's right, you, again, very soon here in Football Therapy. Peace.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.